What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing a tier list of some of the top power forwards in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Now, before I dive any further into that, guys, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button. We're on the road towards 120,000 subscribers, and I really do appreciate all of the recent support, man, and love each and every one of you guys. So, I gotta start this video off by saying again, the small forward or the power forward position is pretty strong because you got those centers that can play power forward, such as Kareem. You got the small forwards that can play power forwards, such as guys like Jonathan Bender, Poki, guys like that. And so, in general, guys, the position is pretty strong, okay? So just kind of something to keep in the back of your guys' minds and to think about as we are going through this today is, the power forward position, I think, is one of the strongest positions in the entire game. So we're gonna start off with Poki. At the power forward position, I'm not quite as high on him, right? You guys know I love Poku, but I think Poku is way better at small forward than power forward. Like, he's not bad at, like, I don't want to sit up here and say, like, oh, Poku's not good at the power forward position, but he's just not as effective. He's just not as valuable. Again, I'm not trying to sit here and slander him, but his value is that he's a 7-foot small forward. If you move him to the power forward again, he's fine, and for his value is really good. But overall, I think I've got to go C tier. And again, that's not me slandering Poki. That's not me saying he's bad. I just think there are overall better options in my team than Poki. Bam Adebayo up next. I'm going D tier with Bam. Like, Bam's just not good, and this Bam is better than the Bam that you could grind out for free, and honestly, the Bam that you could grind out for free was fine too, but they're just mid, right? Defensively, they're fine, but offensively, their releases are the definition of mid in my team. Ben Wallace, am I crazy for putting him at C tier? I mean, again, we might move some players around because deep down, we do have some not very good players on this list, so maybe Poku and Ben Wallace are both B tier. I guess we'll have to see. But I don't mind Ben Wallace. He's just a little undersized. Again, I could go out there and use Ben Wallace and have some success with him, but he's only 6'9" at the power forward position. You guys got to realize he's going to be up against guys like Taco Fall. Bob Nedelecki up next. I'm putting him at B tier. If you're putting Ben Wallace at B tier, Bob Neto is B tier as well because, look, they're both undersized. Nedelecki's got a way better release, going to be better offensively. Ben Wallace, obviously better defensively. To me, they're both B tier, both really good power forwards in my team. Chet Holmgren up next. He's going C tier, better than Bam. Not as good as Poki, not as good as Ben Wallace. It's that simple. Some people really do like Chet though in my team. And if that's you guys, let's say you're a really big Chet fan, that's fine. Don't let me talk you off of Chet Holmgren. If you like him, use him if you want to, have some success with him. Again, don't let me be the reason you don't run him. Chris Bosh, our first A tier player. Again, for me and Chris Bosh, I don't necessarily know how much I love him. I've seen a lot of people use him. A lot of people have success with him. But again, I think A tier is where I kind of max out with the card, where it's like, yes, he's good, but I don't think I can go any higher than A tier. Look, he's got a decent enough release. It's smooth. You should green with it. But again, A tier is about as high as I can go. Danny Ferry up next. He's A tier too. I said it when the card came out. I think Danny Ferry's better at the power forward position than the small forward position. Does that logic still make sense? Do I still believe in that logic? I mean, maybe not as much, because here's the deal. He's good at small forward too, okay? His release, hard to get the hang of it, but when you do get it down, he greens nearly everything for you guys. Card is really solid overall in my team. And again, another card that you can use and have a lot of success with. Dave Cowan's up next at power forward. He's still A tier. Yes, he's only 6'9", so he is undersized at that power forward position. But even with him being undersized, he's still better than Bob Nedelecki. He's still better than Big Ben Wallace. And so, I mean, I can't sit there and not put Dave Cowens in A tier when that's where I do rate the card. Boogie Cousins up next. And I'm going to throw DeMarcus Cousins in B tier. I don't hate DeMarcus Cousins. He's got a wide player model, can move and groove a little bit. Release, you can green with it. I just don't love the card. I can't go any higher than B tier with him. Deadlift at power forward, C tier. Look, actually, I'm going to go B tier. Power forward, here's what I got to do. I got to do what I got to do. If you're 6'9", and you're just not that complete, you can't go higher than C tier. DeMarcus Cousins better than everybody at C tier. Poku is better than everybody at C tier. It is what it is. I can't put all of those guys at B tier. Although I do like Deadlift at small 40s, undersized at power forward position. It is what it is. Dikembe Mutombo, top of S, or top of A. I'm going to put him in GOAT tier. I don't know how many power forwards we're going to have in GOAT tier, but I think Dikembe Mutombo belongs there. Good release, really solid defensively, and just as far as an overall card, is gonna hold it down for you. I'm not gonna sit up here and say you gotta love Dikembe as much as me, but you better at least respect him and what he is able to do on the basketball court. Dolph Schayes at this stage, I'm gonna go C tier. I still like him more than Bam Adebayo. He still has a chicken release with the Kuzma base. He's just not next level good in my team anymore. Sabonis up next, he's F tier. I love Domantas Sabonis in real life. I think the card is absolutely incredible, but if we're talking in 2K terms, he's F tier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. F tier. D12 up next. I'm throwing D12 in GOAT tier. He's got the Asta slide. He's got a good player model. His stats are absolutely incredible. Yes, he's only 6'11", whereas Dikembe is what, 7'2", a little maybe undersized in that category. But if you look at the stats and badges of Dwight Howard, you're gonna agree that he is in GOAT tier. Eddie Curry up next. I think I'm gonna throw him at D tier. I've used Eddie Curry on my Nobody Spent a little bit, and I really am liking the card. The problem is there are just better options in my team, and that's not even a slater towards Eddie Curry, because again, I like the card. I think the card is really solid in my team. I just think overall there are better options that you can go with, that you can get and have success with in the game. Evan Mobley up next. I'm a big Evan Mobley stan, A tier, and I don't care who needs to hear it. Evan Mobley is absolutely incredible in my team. And again, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. A lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying that. But I really do like Evan Mobley in my team. I've used the card for, I'm not going to sit here and say a ton. But I've used the card a decent amount on my Nobody Spent. He competes on defense. He knocks down open shots. He's got the normal leaner. What is there not to like about Evan Mobley? That's what I'm wondering, right? Because I know a lot of people, might not love Evan Mobley. But what's not to like about the card? Tell me that, and then we can keep talking. Next up, Jonathan Isaac. At power forward, I'm going to go B tier with J.I. Again, even compared to Evan Mobley is just a little longer, maybe going to compete a little bit better. But I do like Jonathan Isaac in my team. And I think if you wanted to argue Jonathan Isaac in an A tier, I personally wouldn't be the one to necessarily counter-argument that. My whole thing is this. Is he that much better than Ben Wallace, Dolph Schayes? No. The difference between A tier and C tier is not very large right now. Pascal Siakam, I'm sorry, F tier. I mean, at small forward, you can make the case, well, at least he's a good defender because he has a bad release. Power forward position, he does nothing for you. He's F tier. Pink Diamond Giannis, I'm going to throw in C tier. He's just, honestly, you could put him in B tier and I wouldn't argue. His release is just a little slow. He lacks a few badges. He's just not as good as the Galaxy Hope or Dark Matter Giannis, but Pink Diamond Giannis can still hang in my team. Galaxy Hope or Dark Matter, I should say, Anthony Davis up next. Dark Matter AD is A tier. No question about it. I'm going to move Chris Bosh. No, I'm not. He's still A tier. I like Chris Bosh. I don't love him, though. AD should have been better than he was. I know I'm not the only one that says that either. AD objectively should be better than he is in my team. There's just something about the card that isn't what he should be. I don't even have the answer to it. The card just simply should be better in my team. Kristaps Porzingis, KP, D-Rob up next. Kristaps, GOAT tier. Kareem, GOAT tier. D-Rob, GOAT tier. I said it before I started this video, okay? I said it. I said, I'm not going to put that many people in GOAT tier. Even in the last video, I said GOAT tier is something special. But how are you going to sit up here and tell me that these guys don't belong in GOAT tier? That's what I want to talk to you guys about. How are you going to sit here and tell me, oh yeah, they don't belong in GOAT tier? These cards are absolutely outstanding. They're absolutely incredible. And I think it's hard to argue that they're not deserving of that GOAT tier. Again, it's just me and my personal opinion. But I love all 5 of those cards at GOAT tier. And I think it's hard to separate any of them. Next up, Greg Oden. Greg Oden's your typical A-tier player. Gonna play a lot of defense. Release leaves a lot to be desired. In general, he is A-tier though, although he's not perfect. I'll never sit up here and say Greg Oden is perfect, but I will say he does deserve A-tier at minimum. Next up, Tim Duncan, D-tier. At this stage, Tim Duncan is not it. If you want to use Tim Duncan, do what you got to do. I'm just telling you guys from me to you. At this point, there are many better options at that power forward position. Tyler Hansbrough, I mean, I never really saw it with the card. I guess I'll go C tier. Him and Leighton are both. I don't love either one of these cards. They were kind of hyped up. Didn't really live up to expectations. Blake Griffin's not good. Blake Griffin's... I'm going to put Blake Griffin in D tier. Because at least with Ben Wallace, he plays defense. At least with Bob Nerlich, he's got a cheesy release. At least with Giannis, he plays defense. At least with Dolph, he's got a good release. What does Blake Griffin do for you? Nothing. Jokic, I'm going to put it B tier. I don't love Jokic. But again, I know a lot of people like him, and so I must be missing something there with Jokic. I'm going to put him in B tier because, again, I respect your guys' and value your guys' opinion. So if everybody in the community tells me a card's good, I'm going to put some respect in their name. Jokic, B tier. Nate Thurmond up next. And because of the way Nate Thurmond plays defense, I'm going to throw him in B tier. Sure, his release is kind of probably hard to green, but you get a coach with the center 3-ball boost. Obviously not Monty Williams, but maybe pace and space can, or yeah, maybe pace and space I think can do that. Or I guess that might be Monty Williams. I don't know. Perimeter-centric other coaches might be able to boost that 3-ball. That's really what you're looking at for Nate Thurmond. Defensively is an absolute menace. E. Jinlian up next, throwing him in B tier as well. People still use this card to this day because he can spot up and knock down wide open shots. And at the power forward position, if you do that and play a decent amount of defense, what else do you need, right? Honestly, what else do you need? He plays good defense, knocks down open shots from the 3-point line. That's all I need him to do, and he does that at a very high level. Pau Gasol up next. The card's a garbage, man. He's F tier. I can't even put him in D tier. Pau stinks. Dirk, B tier. And I know some people are like, Dirk at B tier at this stage of my team, Ty, for real. I like Dirk still to this day. Is he perfect? No. I would never sit up here and say Dirk is perfect, especially defensively, leaves a lot to be desired. But his release makes up for a lot of what he can't do. So if you don't think Dirk's like very good, think about his release. Because trust me, that makes up for a lot of what you guys might think are his flaws. Galaxy Opal Anthony Davis up next. He's C tier. At this stage, he's just not the greatest anymore. Still really solid in my team. You can still use him in my team and have some success with him. Again, there's just going to be better overall options in the game. Next up, guys, Pete Diamond, James Wiseman. I don't rate this card. He's going D tier. I've used James Wiseman probably as much as anybody else. I just don't see it with him. Again, if you guys are a big James Wiseman fan, if you've used him and had a ton of success with him, do what you guys got to do. I'm just saying for me personally, I've used him, haven't had a ton of success with him. I can't put him any higher than D tier. Next up, guys, C Wood, Christian Wood, D tier as well. He's going to knock down shots for you. I'm not going to argue with that. Yes, as far as a pure sharp, he's going to do it. He's got a good release, smooth jump shot. The card is going to do a lot of positive things for you on the basketball court. Is he perfect though? No, right? He's not even nearly perfect. And that's where I'm at with Christian Wood is, again, he's going to knock down shots. But defensively, what is the card really doing for us in my team? It's what it always does end up going back to. Cliff Robinson up next. I guess I'll throw him at C tier. He's going to play defense, and I guess, that means something in my team. But I can't sit here and gas him much more than C tier. C tier isn't bad, though. Plays good defense. I just think that's basically all he's going to give you on the court. Dino Raja up next. I'll throw Dino in B tier. Some people might argue A tier for Dino. I don't think he's quite that good. Dino is really solid. I'd go B tier with him. If you can green with him, that's going to help him out and do wonders for the card in general. But, I mean, it's bigger than just green and shots. He's got to at least be able to do some other things on the court. And right now for me, that's where Dino lacks a little bit is he does green shots, but plays some defense. But other than that, not great. Julius Randle stinks. Julius Randle is F tier. I'm sorry if you wasted your tokens on Julius Randle. Not that you have that much more to spend your tokens on right now in my team, because there's really not much outside of Hall of Fame badges. But again, if you wasted your tokens on Julius Randle, all I can say is deep down from me to you, I'm sorry, because the card absolutely stinks. Charlie Villanueva up next. I'm going to throw Charlie V in B tier, but the lower end of B tier. I mean, you can use Charlie and have success with him. He's 6'11", but he feels more like 6'9", and I think that's probably the biggest thing that maybe, I don't even want to say holds him back, but that leaves a lot to be desired. His release is good. Offensively can move a little bit. He's just not as tall as he should be. Muhammad up next, D tier. He's not horrible. He can go out there and get you some stops. He's just not great in my team. Next up, guys, Purvis Ellison. Definitely like him more at the small forward position. Small forward, he's S tier. Power forward, I guess I'll put him at A tier because he probably is. He's just a little undersized, right? He's a little undersized, and I'd even say I'd be more comfortable probably with Danny Ferry at the power forward position than Purvis Ellison. George Mikan stinks. I'll go D tier with the card. He's not that bad, but he's not good. Giannis, Dark Matter, A tier, top of A tier. Giannis is Giannis in my team, and I don't know how else to phrase it. He can guard 1 through 4, maybe even some 1 through 5 if you're not up against the Yao Ming. The card's defense is just ridiculous. There's not a defender in the game that makes more of an impact than Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you guys can debate a wall on that. That's just the facts. Galaxy Opal Giannis, I guess B tier. I guess I'll put him in B tier because that's where he belongs, but he is really good too. Probably not worth the upgrade to put him over Dark Matter Giannis or to get Dark Matter Giannis over the Galaxy Opal Giannis, but there is A tier separating the two. Hakeem Olajuwon up next, he's GOAT tier. I mean, the way I see it is this, okay? If you grind XP, which a lot of people like doing, you get one of the top power forwards in the game. What else can you ask for, right? I mean, in a game in which it's hard to make MT, in a game in which, you have to grind so much of the game to make any sort of progress, any sort of NT, they gifted us with one of the best power forwards in the entire game, in that Dark Matter Hakeem, who I'm personally probably not grinding for, but again, if you get him, he can play for a very long time. James Worthy up next. I mean, I guess I'll throw him at B tier. I do not love James Worthy, and if you've watched my YouTube channel or watched just me in general, you know I don't love James Worthy. You just know it, okay? I've never sat there and gassed up James Worthy when some other people might. That's just not me. I think the card is fine in my team. You can use him and have some success with him. I just think there's better options. It's that simple, man. James Worthy's fine, but there are definitely better options. JJJ up next. He's in C tier. For me, the downfall of Jaren Jackson Jr. really falls on that release. His release is very mediocre, very mid. Other than that, card is fine in general. Jeff Green at power forward. I guess I got to go C tier. I don't even mind Jeff Green, but when we're talking about the power forward position, he's just undersized. Obviously, the card just came out, so couldn't include him in that shooting guard or in that small forward list, but he's just undersized. Jeremy Sochan, C tier as well. I like both those cards, but they're undersized, right? I don't want to compare them to Ben Wallace because Ben Wallace might be a little better than them, especially defensively. But they're kind of in that category of just undersized power forwards. I just prefer some other guys. Joel Embiid, Galaxy Opal up next. At center, I'm actually higher on him than power forward. He just can't really dribble at all. And so, I mean, if you're talking about power forwards that can't dribble in my team, not going to be super high on the card. Ben Man, Jonathan Bender up next. I'm going A tier with Jonathan Bender. It's that simple. It's that easy. I love Jonathan Bender in my team. Nobody's going to talk me off of that. I think especially at power forward, he's better than Pokachevsky, even though I do like Poku in my team. This Julius Randle F tier as well. I don't even know why I put him on this list. Both these cards are sorry. Karl Anthony Towns, Galaxy Opal is A tier. Right up there with Evan Mobley. I think wherever you have to have Evan Mobley, you got to have Cat. Release-wise for both of them, not great. But for both of them, they're incredible outside of that. Cat's more of the offensive head. Evan Mobley's going to get you more defense. Both those cards belong in that A tier. I absolutely love both of them. KD at the power forward position, B tier. I mean, look, at the small forward position, he'd probably be A tier. But power forward-wise, I can't put him ahead of B tier. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. KG up next. KG A tier. You grind a KG, you got an A tier power forward still to this day in my team, which is just absolutely crazy to think about. Like, I grinded him for my no money spent, and I know at the time he was good, but I didn't realize how much longevity the card truly would have, and honestly, it's one of the more impressive things I've seen in my team. Kuzma up next. Power forward position, I gotta go B tier. I like Kuz, he's got a great release in my team, but again, if we're talking at that power forward position, he can't go any higher than B tier. And this is coming from someone in me who really does like and rate Kyle Kuzma. Laurie up next. I can't put Laurie any higher than D tier. And again, I don't mind Laurie. I think the card is just fine in general. But when you're talking about guys that are gonna have to play that power forward position again, I don't think I can go higher than D tier in general. Next up, guys, we do see Candyman. At this stage, he's D tier. And I know there's going to be some people out there who really like Candyman, man. I like Candyman too. But if you're saying I can go higher than D tier, I think you're wrong, okay? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to give you guys the facts. I don't think you can go any higher than I just did with D tier for Candyman. Up next, guys, we do see Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba to me is a C tier power forward. I actually like Mo Bamba. I actually think for a budget, now I'm going B tier. You know what? I'm going B tier. Release-wise, you should be able to agree with him. I think in general, he's an overall solid card. There's going to be a lot of people out there that slander MosBallin, but in general, he's B tier, especially with that hero version. He's really solid. Moses Malone up next. I guess I got to go A tier, but I've heard some bad things about Moses Malone. Like, people who have used that card really just don't love him in my team, and I don't really know what the reasoning is behind it. Like, why are we not liking MosBallin in my team? I don't know, but if you ask the average person, they're not going to like MosBallin. It's just that simple. It's that easy. I mean, MosBallin is not well received in the MyTEAM community. And again, I don't make the rules for why that is, but that's the way it is. MosBallin, most people just don't really gas the card up in general. Nicholas Claxton up next. I think with Claxton, I got to go C tier. Card is really good for a budget option, but anything ahead of C tier would just be a little crazy. Vooch up next. He kind of stinks. I'll go D tier. And it's crazy you got a budget guy in Vooch that's at D tier, but again, he's a guy I can't put any higher than that. Big Shaq up next. Power forward position, I guess I'll go A tier because defensively he's in... No, I'm going B tier. I'm going B tier. Card can't shoot. You guys can debate a wall. If you love Shaq, do what you got to do. He can't shoot. He's not going any higher than that. Sean Kemp stinks. D tier. Simbular, F tier. I don't care how tall you are. You stink. Spencer Haywood, F tier. You stink. Tristan Thompson, D tier. I mean, you're okay, but objectively you stink, right? Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but objectively, you know, he's just not great in my team. Like, I mean, you're a grind for the level 40. Like, they don't make those cards good. Spencer Haywood's not good. Taco Fall, man, if y'all don't put aside your, oh my gosh, Taco stats and badges aren't good, and realize that the card is literally our gargantuan in my team. The reason I just said gargantuan, big word, is because from Jimmy John, driver the gargantuan, I mean, it's Taco Fall. He's S tier. Simple as that. Vladimir Radvanovich up next. Power forward position, he's B tier. I think the card is underrated and kind of slept on in my team. And Will Chamberlain, last but not least, he's S tier, okay? So here's our tiers. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players at GOAT tier. How I'd rank them at the power forward position probably would be something along the lines of... oh man, it's tough, man. Something along the lines of this. I don't use the Kembe, so I'm not gonna sit there and gas him. But again, we've got some really great power forwards overall in my team. That's gonna wrap it up for our power forward tier list. I didn't know your thoughts down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.